I'm Dhruv.
And I'm Miles, and welcome to the In Order of Appearance podcast with the only two New York 10s you'll ever see on a show.
Yeah, because everybody needs more men with microphones and the internet speaking their mind.
Honestly, hopefully you get that reference. But, welcome to the first episode. I mean, you have anything to say, Dhruv?
Not really. Just let's get into it.
Yo, bro, I said turn my headphones on.
Alright, so we'll start with our first segment. So this is Info Swap. And basically, I'll run you through this. Basically, this is where we both swap information. So today, for example, I'm doing the film world and he's doing the music world. And we're sharing stuff that we probably don't know. And we might know, but probably don't. So I'm showing him some film news. And you want me to go first, or you got it?
You got it.
Alright, so firstly, Mel Brooks and Rick Moranis are actually returning for a Spaceballs sequel. I don't know if you heard about that. Yeah, so that's pretty far. Yeah. And then I'm a Robert Eggers glazer. I have to say this. So Robert Eggers will direct A Christmas Carol, a remake of A Christmas Carol, Ebenezer Scrooge, for Warner Brothers. And Willem Dafoe might be Ebenezer Scrooge,
I love Willem Dafoe.
Because if y'all didn't
I love Willem Dafoe.
Because if y'all didn't know, Willem Dafoe is actually a frequent collaborator with Eggers. He was one of the leading roles in, or there are only basically two roles in it, but along with Robert Pattinson, he was one of the lead roles in The Lighthouse. He was in The Northman, which I haven't seen yet. I need to watch that. And then he was in Nosferatu as, a big small role. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I really liked his character so much that I call it a big role, but it's not like that big of a role,
Willem Dafoe, I love Willem Dafoe more than I love my own family. And I just want to put that out there right now. So if they're listening, I'm sorry, but I love Willem more than you.
I don't know if I go that far, but yeah, I really he's so serious too. But I'm crying right now. But so Willem Dafoe is like known as, oh my god, I'm genuinely crying from how funny that is. But okay, Willem Dafoe is actually he's from the Green Goblin, but he's like, if y'all didn't know, he's an art house film like star.
The Green Goblin.
Oh my god, he really loves art house films and clearly loves Eggers stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping he does.
And I love him.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. New Pixar movie about a cat. I think it's named like
What?
Gatto.
When
It's
is
like
there not a Pixar
in Italy?
movie about a cat? All Pixar movies have a cat in it at one point.
But this one features a cat as the main character. I think.
Oh.
So
Snap.
I think it's called Gatto. I don't know how to pronounce it in Italian. Y'all can say.
Fun fact: Gatto is cat in Spanish, so I'm guessing it's also cat in Italian. The more
No.
you know.
Oh shoot, my webcam. My bad, y'all. I was about to crash out. But yeah. So thank you for your AP Spanish lesson, Dhruv.
I just took the test.
I know. My mom told me about that, and you're like in 9th grade. So congrats to him. Say it in the comments, please. We need interactions. Anyways, so this is insane. So I'm gonna pull this up on the media, but basically, people are proposing to their partners using a scene from the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode, The Night Man Cometh. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I got a video I'm about to pull up right here, and I did record this on OBS, and I might have forgot to edit it. So yeah, it's like a minute long. For everyone. I also kind of recorded this wrong. Like it's in. You can see I.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, but yeah. So.
Son, you're a master of karate and friendship for everyone.
You're kind of lagging there for my recording. So. Dayman. Now, I don't know the background of this. I just found this on YouTube. I'll link the video in the description.
Was a boy, but now I am a man. Thought the night man lived instead. Now I'm here to ask for your soul. Will you marry me?
Classic episode for real. Me.
Absolute cinema.
It actually kind of would have been funny if she said no.
That would be great, because
I mean, not for
what
them.
happens in the show.
Not for them.
But for us.
But congratulations to them. I hope they have a good marriage.
Yeah, and don't be using the dentist system in public, because
And don't be using
assault.
and don't be using the the SIND system, the backwards one.
Oh yeah, and I have been planning an Always Sunny episode for this podcast in the future, so stay tuned.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. So new Bruce Springsteen biopic, directed by Scott Cooper, featuring Jeremy Allen White from The Bear, and I'll pull that up right now. All right, so here is the thing.
Yeah. Jeremy is a handsome devil rock star.
You mean Bruce's?
No, just Jeremy.
And we both have never seen this. I just saw the first 20 seconds because
Never seen it.
I forgot to I
That's
forgot
the
to
fat
not
dude
watch it.
from Cobra Kai.
I haven't seen Cobra Kai.
I haven't either.
And also, Jeremy Allen White actually does sing all these songs.
Oh, so he's pulling a Timothée.
Yeah, like what? Who did Timothy play in that movie? I completely forget.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
I'm Bob Dylan. That's what he sounds like. Oh, that's the dude from Adolescence. That's the serial killer's dad. Oh, that's Roman Roy. I'm just kidding. That's not Roman. That's the guy from Succession, though.
Did he dye his hair?
Maybe. That's Kendall Roy.
I cut
I
that
would
too
like
short.
to say, I think Jeremy Allen White is perfect for Bruce Springsteen.
I mean, yeah,
Bruce Springsteen is America's artist, and Jeremy Allen White is America's sweetheart.
he had like good vocals, honestly, like on that.
Yeah, and after watching The Bear, anytime I see him, I just think of yelling. So,
Anyway, so now we're gonna pass it to Dhruv
all
and
right,
music.
news. First, I just want like a 10-second moment of silence for Brian Wilson. Rest in peace. Alrighty, now that that's over, let's talk about some music news.
Yeah, rest in peace. Alrighty, so okay, this is good. You know that song "Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay"?
Oh yeah, the killer
The
dude, right? He killed his
musician
cousin.
Silento is sentenced to 30 years in prison for killing his cousin. So
He
a
didn't
lot
get
of these
life.
people got really. No, he didn't get life. A lot of these people got cousin issues. Like you ever heard that? You hear that Kanye song, "Cousins"? All these
I'm
people
not. No,
got
no, no, no!
crazy
Don't sing it!
cousin
Don't sing
issues.
it! Do
Don't
not
sing
sing.
it?
Do
Okay,
not sing that song. Do.
but it's hard.
It is not a
All
hard
right, we'll link it
song.
in the description so you can read the lyrics.
Oh,
It's
we are not
amazing.
gonna link a
It's
Kanye song.
poetry.
We're not gonna.
It's
We're not.
poetry.
We are not linking a Kanye song in the description. I repeat, we are not linking a Kanye song in the
It's
description.
not problematic.
I'm pretty sure he has a song called "Problematic" on Vultures too.
Alrighty, so there's a new David Byrne album, David Byrne from the Talking Heads, called "Who Is the Sky," and I'm hyped for that because I love David Byrne, and he seems like a really cool professor in a superhero movie.
How old is he? I just went because the Talking Heads are pretty
Talking Heads are 80s new wave, so like I think give me a guess.
I'm gonna say. So like The Cure released a new album, right? I'm thinking they around 70. So I'm gonna say the same thing, 70.
He's 73.
All right.
Yeah, and now my goat from Brockhampton, Kevin Abstract, is releasing a new album called Blush.
Let's
And there's a
go.
song there with Dominic Fike, who is also my goat.
Dominic Fike is fire. Yo,
Don't watch Euphoria around your children.
I showed my mom some Brockhampton stuff, and she was like, "Nah, this is not appropriate. This is like she was like, this is not like talking about women, okay?" And I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
and I'm like, I agree, but it's music and there's free speech, but I still agree.
Yeah. Alright, and now for my last music news, I want to talk about one of the most controversial things in music news as of right now. And you might have heard about this, you might have seen this everywhere. I'm just going to share my screen because this to me is really crazy. I know Sabrina Carpenter has been going off and is like super popular right now. But this album cover I think is just a hair too far.
Wait, is it the
Her album
deluxe
cover-
one?
Her album. No, this is not even part of Short and Sweet. She has a new album coming out. And I just want to say, I don't think it's offensive, but you just gotta ask, like, what is she doing? I love Sabrina Carpenter. Like, I will listen to anything she releases, but you just gotta look at this album cover, and you're like, what?
I feel like Sabrina
Alright.
Carpenter is like underrated in the fact that she's like a good. Oh,
So this album is called Man's Best Friend, and she is pretending to be a dog. So let's just dissect that real quick. Is this really a dog?
nope.
Yeah, nope, not at all. It looks like she is about to do some not appropriate stuff to this poor man. who
I
happens
agree.
to be pulling her hair. So I would like to say, Sabrina Carpenter, I'm single, so if you want to like slide in, I'm down.
Drew,
But what is this? What is this?
I don't-
What are we really doing
I
this
don't
right now?
I don't
Sabrina?
like where she's like reaching towards.
I don't like where she's reaching towards. I don't like that she's bending over and she's looking like.
Hey, but it's free. You can do whatever you want. So
Yeah,
Sabrina
you can do
Carpenter.
whatever you want, and I will be listening to the album. But I just
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to know:
Yo, we should do an
are
album
you a
review.
dog, or are you really trying to do something to this poor man?
Yeah, we'll probably do an album review of this album.
Yeah, and Sabrina, I am single, so
Drew, that is not no. All right. So now it's the main part of the episode. We're done with info swap. So now we're gonna do we rewatch.
Popstar, never stopping.
So basically, right? We both have watched the movie multiple times. Isn't it your favorite movie? Correct.
It is my favorite movie of all time.
Underrated on movie, man. Dude, they like. I'm pretty sure it made 9 million box office and it spent like 20 million on it.
It was just like Hot Rod.
It was a
because
bomb.
The PR was so rough on this movie. Like
Hot Rod
the PR
underrated.
Did not do anything. Hot Rod is also underrated.
Hot Rod is
This
underrated.
the best comedy of all time. I just want to say it.
It's a hilarious movie. So yeah, but we've both seen it before and we rewatched it. I've seen it like 4 times now that I've watched it because I fell
This
asleep.
is my 5th. Watching
Nice.
it yesterday was my 5th or 6th. And Judd, we would love you have you on the pod. We love you, Judd.
We really do. I have no words for how much we love your films. Like, just the amount of product you've produced. We're not talking directly to him unless he watches it, but the amount of product he has produced is like insane over the past 30 years, something like that.
Yeah, 30 years. And we might be glazing right now, but I don't really care. So
He's done so much, and like, so much with The Lonely Island.
and he's recently helped Please Don't Destroy make their movie. So that movie slaps.
What's that movie?
The Treasure of Foggy Mountain.
I need to watch that. I haven't heard of that actually. All right,
Yeah.
so let's get into it. Can I say my first thing?
Yeah.
I liked I don't know how they did wait. Never mind. I messed up. So, I love the remixed Universal intro.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fire to me. It sounds good too. Like however they did it. Yeah, so that was my first note. You?
Yeah, my first note was just the abundance of cameos, and it was created by Andy Samberg, Jorma Taccone, and Akiva Schaffer.
Wait,
all from The Lonely Island.
I'm sorry, is it really Jorma Taccone?
Yes, sir.
I thought it was Jorma Taccone. Dang. My bad, Jorma.
Taccone.
My bad, Jorma. So,
and it has parallels to The Lonely Island in real life.
It really does.
Yeah, if you look at it, because, Andy is always, the front man. When you think of The Lonely Island, a lot of people think of Andy Samberg.
And it's like...
And Jorma, you can continue.
My bad. I feel like it's not fair to, Jorma and Keith, because honestly, it's not just Andy. All of them together is The Lonely Island. And I feel like that's partly due to the fact that sometimes they only do songs with, 2 of them. For example, We Like Sports or I'm on a Boat, even though there's T-Pain in that song. But, even though, Jorma was directing MacGruber at that time, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
And what I've noticed is that, even in the movie, Jorma's character, he makes all the beats for Connor. And in real life, I've listened to their podcast, and they've even said that Jorm makes a lot of the beats. And Keeve also helps write a lot of the lyrics. But the common misconception is that Andy is The Lonely Island. The Lonely Island is all 3 of them, and I think they're all equally as talented.
Exactly. It's crazy how funny they are, how talented at acting they are, but also how musically creative and talented they are just in that realm. That's kind of insane to me. How much they've put together in, a time frame of maybe 20 years almost.
Technically it started.
It happened
when they
in
were
junior
high.
high. Yeah.
Yeah, because they met each other in high school.
But when they broadcasted it all over, right? It was around.
Yeah.
Wasn't it around when the digital shorts came out, Lazy Sunday?
No, what?
Really?
Okay, so their story is they even made a pilot called Awesome Town, which was a sketch show, and then they were hosting an award show. Well, they weren't hosting; they were writing for an award show, and Jimmy Fallon was the host. And he brought all the SNL people, and then he recommended all 3 of them to SNL. And one thing I would like to say for any Lonely Island projects we may cover moving forward is that the Lonely Island themselves, Andy, Jorm, and Keeve, have all said that they constitute something as a Lonely Island project if there's 2 of them involved, or more.
Yeah.
That's why I'm on a Boat is a Lonely Island project, because Jorm was out directing MacGruber. And this movie, even though it's all 3, stuff in the future... It may have been both. It may have been 2 or more, and that constitutes as Lonely Island. If it's only one of them, then it doesn't count.
I have one mention thing actually. This is kind of a shameless promo. What's it called? We are not paid to say this, but Digman season 2 is coming out, and that's Andy Samberg's animated show. And I believe.
Sure.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that Melissa Fumero, who plays Amy Santiago on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I believe she plays a role in that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And Andy has an upcoming movie called The Roses with Benedict Cumberbatch. And Keeve has an upcoming movie which he's directing, which is the Naked Gun sequel.
Yes, sir.
So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
All right. So my next thing about Popstar, the CGI on the drumming baby.
I would like to
Chef's
say
kiss.
peak. All right, let's
Chef's
go to
kiss.
a rundown real quick of this movie. So basically, this is a documentary that's parodying a lot of other music documentaries. A lot of people said this was a Justin Bieber parody when it came out.
Yeah, and it's like very similar. Have you seen the Dewey Cox story? Walk Hard.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir, dude. That's such a fire movie. Check it out if y'all haven't. It's Jenna Fisher and
Pam
what's his
Beasley.
name? Yeah, Pam Beasley, Jenna Fisher, and I'm blanking right now. It's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly, yeah. So it's John C. Reilly and Jenna Fisher. Yeah. So really good movie. It's pretty funny, but yeah. So it's very similar to stuff like that. It's
Similar to Spinal Tap too, and it's basically just a movie documentary about this artist who is on top of the world, and he's releasing his second studio album, and his name is Connor For Real, and he's so sensual.
exactly.
Like he's so vulgar with his fans, like he's like.
No,
"Our
we
music
can't say that.
is
We can't
our
say.
love letters.
We can't say the one where it's under the blanket. You know,
Yeah.
we're not gonna
The
say that.
arena is our bedroom, and the stage is where we smash."
Yeah.
And he's like too personal with his fans.
Yeah.
Like he's like hoverboard, and then he like falls off the hoverboard, and like. Yeah, he's like, original treat. And my favorite part of the movie, one of my favorite parts of the movie, we can cut this out if it's not appropriate, but he's just sitting in his bed and he's like, just.
I told you not to say that. Well,
No, but it's
listen,
the best part. We gotta have it. in.
that's far. So it features. I need to double check some of their names. All right, I was right. The Lonely Island. So Andy Samberg, Yorma Taccone, and Akiva Schaffer, and then it also has Sarah Silverman and Tim Meadows. And I'll just quickly list how the insane amount of like cameos is insane to me. So
Yeah.
Bill Hader makes a quick appearance.
F-line.
Justin Timberlake as Tyrus
As the
Quash.
chef. As the chef.
Yes,
he
sir.
He talks about his carrots for like a minute.
Will Arnett, Eric Andre, Chelsea Peretti, Mike Birbiglia. So fire. Emma Stone makes an uncredited cameo. And
Yeah.
Weird Al is in there. But here are the cameos. All right, I'm just going to list this off. 50 Cent, Akon, A$AP Rocky, Big Boy, Michael Bolton, Win Butler, Mariah Carey, Regine Chastain, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Simon Cowell, Miley Cyrus, Danger Mouse, Snoop Dogg, DJ Khaled, Jimmy Fallon, Steve Higgins, Adam Levine, bro. Dude, I'm so humble. Yep.
Yeah.
Nas, Katy Perry, Pink, Bahati Prinsloo, Questlove, Rihanna, the entire Roots, the RZA, Seal, Martin Sheen, Ringo Starr, Asa Taccone. Is that?
Asa Taccone.
Yeah,
Which is
that's-
actually Yorma's brother.
Yeah, that's
and
what
he's also a vocalist of a band. I think he's a vocalist of a band.
Yeah, he is. He
Let me
is.
check.
Let me see what it's called.
He is part of the group Electric Guest.
Yeah, he's written for American Dad and Portlandia music, I believe. And then crap, I have to scroll down real quick. And then the final ones are T.I., Carrie Underwood, Usher, and Pharrell Williams. So that's a stacked list of features from them.
Yeah.
And we don't want to spoil it too much, but it's basically about a pop star who falls and then he comes back up and makes friends again and stuff. It's a very wholesome movie, if I'm being real.
It's a very wholesome movie, even though it is like you see how much of a jerk he is, and you're like, oh, but like you're still rooting for him at the end.
And I love how it's
I want to get
real quick. I love how it's kind of the opposite of like how they actually are. Like
Well, I mean,
the only thing that
like parallels.
Yeah, there's parallels. Like Andy is the most famous because he's had the most film roles, but like it's not a bicycle. It's a tricycle. You don't want a bicycle. You don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want a bicycle. And now I want to get into a section where we talk about our favorite tracks from the movie. I just gotta
Choo.
say, my favorite song in this entire movie is F. Bin Laden. And that's such a basic pick. That is such a basic pick. I know it's a basic pick,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's an amazing song.
It really is.
I love how he's correcting her.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, she's like, she told me to invade her cave. And he's like, he wasn't found in a cave.
He wasn't found in a cave. But let me think about mine. There are some good ones. The things in my Jeep. That's a banger,
Things in
right?
my Jeep.
These are the things in my Jeep.
And I love how Nas is like,
Yeah.
I had different things in my
I
Jeep.
had different
though."
things in my Jeep. I really, kind of like some of the Hunter the Hungry and Connor songs.
I love how Hunter the Hungry is basically just Tyler the Creator during that Bastard and Goblin era.
Yeah.
He is 100%. Like you look at
he
Tyler
is.
the Creator's lyrics and you put Hunter the Hungry's lyrics side by side, and you can't tell a difference.
But my favorite one. This is hard, but it might have to be the Pride song. I might be
Dude,
real.
that,
Like
okay,
it's so
that's right.
it's really offensive, but like they did it in a tasteful way. I will say they did it in a tasteful way, and
And it's not serious. It's playful.
yeah, it's obviously joking. But I had a note about this. Do. Okay, so the not gay song is how a bunch of white people act. Like they want to like support, the pride movement, LGBTQIA+, but like they don't really do that. They're just like, I'm not gay.
He's just being
But-
a positivist.
Exactly. Like they act like they're part of it, but they not. And it's
And
like
it's not just white people.
I
Be
mean-
so for real.
it's
It's not just white people.
What would you
Indian man? It's not just white people.
what would you say the percentage is though?
I'll say the percentage is more
Majority,
towards white people, but that's
yes.
also because more white people happen to be homophobic.
And yeah, obviously. And they just try to like fit in or whatever. But
But my thing is, I feel like Connor is not doing it out of hatred. I feel like he thinks he's helping.
he's
but
kind of stupid.
Too dumb, and he's too dumb enough to like realize that, oh, this is offensive.
And he matures through like the whole entire thing. Like he's
Yeah,
like,
his
I
character
realized
doesn't
that the not gay song was offensive. Like I like that evolution, Like
Yeah.
that's pretty
All
fire.
right, now I want to go through, like, we can talk about our notes through the movie chronologically.
All right, so after the CGI drumming baby, I love how it's very cliche on like purpose. Like it's
Yeah,
insanely
fair, 'cause
cliche.
it's basically a parody movie.
Exactly, but like sometimes it doesn't feel like a parody movie, and it feels like it's actually what an entitled star could look like in the near future.
And I feel like this could actually be like a real musician. And I know that's like a weird thing to say because obviously it's a comedy. But it's also like, I feel like there has to be someone out there who is just like Connor.
I mean,
And I want to
yeah.
give acting shout out right now. I just like right here, I want to give an acting shout out to Akiva and Yorma. Even though, I mean, Andy's great, but Akiva and Yorm really pulled through in this movie. Like, their acting is some of the best comedy acting I've seen. Even Sarah Silverman and Tim Meadows.
Yes.
I just gotta say.
Okay, two things. So, Tim Meadows, Tony.
Tony?
That's a hilarious joke. I'm gonna be real, cause and then
all the bits in this movie, they all land
yes,
where
they
they're
all
supposed
hit.
to.
They all hit. But I really love like Yorm's delivery on his comedic lines, and also like his serious acting in some parts. Like, so I really love his delivery on the iPod joke.
That's my favorite.
That's the
'cause
fight.
He's like, he has this entire setup, and then he's like, oh, for Connor, I use this. And he pulls out an iPod. He starts playing an audiobook, and he's like, Harry P.
Yeah. And he actually has really cool equipment too. But like
Yeah, like, if I had that, I would be using that every day.
I
But he
would be
just
showing-
uses his iPod.
I would be showing people too. Like I would be showing the camera crew. But also I really like, how when he gets when he leaves Connor's like fandom type of thing, Connor's group, I his acting is so good. Like it's portrayed really well. And then when they meet back up with Connor in the makeup, and then he's like DJing, and his singing's not great, but he like DJs, and it's a really good set actually. If he just didn't sing, like you can do instrumental music, but obviously that's
And he can sing. I think it was just played up for the movie.
it was obviously played for the movie, but like,
and he's also like he's that awkward, shy kind of guy. Like in real life, I believe he is that way. Like just listening to their podcast, just listening to how they speak to each other, I believe he is like that.
For sure. So yeah, what's your next one?
All right, so I just want to keep going through the movie chronologically. After that, it does an intro. It shows Connor, and it shows him being super personal to his fans. And then there's just like a bunch of comments, and it starts off with Connor on stage singing "Humble." With Adam
I'm so
Levine's hologram.
humble. Nah, I've better vocals than Adam Levine. Hot take. No, I'm joking.
No, you don't, Brad, to be so
Hold on. Listen to this. I'm so humble. I probably hit like two wrong notes.
Let's not be doing that. But
like everyone I know is an Adam Levine hater, and I don't know why. Maroon 5 is like gas. Maroon 5, if you're listening to this, thank you for everything you've done.
Okay, well that's just Blaze.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm not the biggest fan of their stuff from like the 2020s, but like I don't get the hate on like Payphone and stuff like that. Like Wiz's verse is fire, and like Adam Levine hits some notes.
Old Maroon 5 hits.
Exactly. Like Adam Levine, like I'm at a payphone. Like I can barely do that. All right, but
yeah, and I'd like to give a shout out to Mariah Carey's cameo after the Humble song because it's just so funny. She's like
her delivery.
I love this song because I would like to think of myself as the humblest person I know. And
because I'm like I mean, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because like literally none of them are humble. Like Mariah Carey's not being humble. Like it's so like narcissistic and like just like counterintuitive.
But I love how they were able to make fun of themselves. Yeah. And I want to talk about his album cover. Connor's album cover, he looks like such a dictator.
I'll pull up the
Yeah, pull it up on your screen.
I'll actually screenshot.
Such a dictator. He's like almost doing the Hitler salute. Like if he had all of his hands up, it would be a Hitler. If he had all of his fingers up, it would be a Hitler salute. But I think he's just blind to it. Like he looks like such a dictator.
Let me pull this up on the images tab.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about Thriller also, or are you talking about?
No, not Thriller also. His upcoming album in the movie.
All right, so first I thought you were bro. What is this? I'm okay. So the album's called Conquest. All right, y'all. So this right here, hold up. This right here is the album cover.
He looks like a dictator. He looks like a dictator.
My favorite part of this album cover is the background, like
the screaming
like
people.
all these the screaming hymns. I didn't notice this little heart right here. I didn't even see that.
And I just want to shout out his first album being called Thriller also. It's so funny to me.
Dude, that's
all
hilarious.
The bits in this movie, it just sounds like a bunch of friends hanging out, pitching stuff to each other. And
exactly.
All the bits land. All the jokes land.
Honest. So I want to say like my next note because I took notes. I'm pretty sure Yorma dyed his hair at the start of the movie, like bleached.
I think so.
I don't know if that was a wig or not, but I really like the evolution that Yeah. So yeah, I like that.
And then next, after the Humbles comment, it goes and Connor's like, yes, I'm dropping my first single. And so it goes to the single, and that's your favorite, the I'm Not Gay song. And I just want to say, it's just Connor. The entire song is not about gay rights. It's just about Connor trying to tell people that he's not gay.
Exactly. In a bed with
random comments.
Like he's
in a bed with all these women, and they're all sitting next to him in underwears, and he throws the flag up, and then he starts throwing around nunchucks.
and then he's like, in the bed with the 10 beautiful women, all not gay. It's like,
and then Pink goes in, and Pink was like,
I was born this way.
Straight.
You were born your way. You gay.
And then like Connor
gay is straight.
he interjects like every time. With, like,
Exactly.
just random words.
Just to
He'd be like,
prove.
I'm not gay. Chicken wings.
He's like, and then nunchucks, and it's just like, I was
Yeah,
born
and
this
you're like-
way, straight. You were born your
Yeah.
way, gay is straight, straight
Yeah.
or gay is all okay.
And then my favorite part is at the end when there's Ringo Starr, and then Ringo's like, Connor is saying this like it's not allowed. It's allowed.
It's
now."
allowed
And I'm
now.
like,
Gay marriage is.
yeah. I had that same idea.
All right,
And
so
then my favorite joke. Okay, so this I just want to say is my favorite joke. We're not coming up on it yet. Actually, I'll just save it for when it comes up.
all right, so can I say something? I don't know if we've passed this yet, but where he's like, it like he says something and then it's like it can't go away. Like, all he's like talking about it being good and all, and he's like, it can't go away. This is my music, and then it all goes away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so they released like equal rights, and then Mona Lisa, that one's fire.
Yeah.
Mona Lisa, you're an overrated piece of crap.
Yeah.
And then Ibiza.
Ibiza.
Thea, I don't know how to pronounce that.
I'm pretty sure that one he wrote because he thinks people in Mexico say S with like a th sound.
Yeah.
So he's
It's
super
like
racist. He's like
Espanol.
Ibiza, España, and
But
I'm
I-
like, bro, what are you doing?
But I'm pretty sure it's like only one specific region of Spain, like literally like a couple of cities.
And it's just a stereotype. Like it's
Yeah.
not true.
Like so he does that, and then he says he wrote every song himself and used hundreds of different producers. Now I tried to
and
look
he
at
acts like that's a flex.
yeah, I
He
tried.
acts like that's a flex. He's like, I used 100 producers.
That's-
and he's like, there's like 10 songs. Like
So I tried to check if like if the producers were real people, and I thought it was gonna lead somewhere, but I'm pretty sure they were just random names because some of them didn't come up as like movie people. They might be people, but anyway, so
they might just be like Easter eggs.
he used different producers rather than Owen's original beats, and the album is universally panned and a commercial failure.
Yeah, so alright, so this is alright, so this is next time. Holy stutter. We'll cut this out. But I think he's on Big Boy next. And Big Boy does his like classic like, oh hello, and like Connor's talking about his catchphrase verse and about how Keith's character is working on a farm. And this is before we know it's a weed farm. We just think it's a farm.
Yeah. We just
And
think
so,
it's like
Yeah, and then Big Boy's like, Lawrence is on a farm? And then he's like, yeah. And then it cuts to Lawrence, but then it goes to the catchphrase verse. And I just like to say, throughout this movie, Lawrence, like Keith's character, says he wrote the catchphrase verse, but just being familiar with The Lonely Island, you can just tell that the catchphrase verse is so Andy. Like,
yeah.
there's no way, because he's like, doink the doink, dinky nuts, DJ Tanner, Patrick Stewart money. Like, there's no way that he wrote any of that. And he might have wrote some of it, but that's just pure Andy at his finest, being a little psycho.
One subtle thing I really like, you know the doink to doink in the thing, right?
Yeah.
I like how they used doink to doink earlier in the movie. Like, so they,
Yeah.
I don't know if he chose like one specific catchphrase, because like then the catchphrase verse doesn't make sense, but at the same time, I really like that, thing.
Yeah. And I love how everyone's hyping up the catchphrase verse. Like, everyone's like, oh, the catchphrase verse is amazing. But it's like probably one of the worst verses in rap I've ever heard. And I love
Doink dinky nuts.
Dinky nuts. And I love how DJ Khaled at the end is like,
Catched by your
it's
phrase.
a catchphrase. The world is catched by your phrase. And that is not grammar.
I don't know if that's like writing or if that's genuinely DJ Khaled, because it could be both.
Genuinely might be DJ Khaled.
It literally could be both, because he does that all the time. Like, he's like, life is roadblocks.
Yeah. And then the camera
They call me
goes to-
asparagus.
The camera goes to Lawrence at his farm, and then he's a horrible woodworker. Like, you see his wood.
some of it's okay.
No, he is horrible.
The mask
There's
is-
something that just looks like a bunch of blocks, and he's like, this is called government in crisis. And then there's like a
obviously.
mask, and it's like a box with eyes in it, and he's like, this is a mask. Kill me.
Technically.
It needs to clarify it's still him. Yeah, and it's crazy. All right, so next is Aquaspin. This is one of my favorite parts of the movie because I love how it's just blatantly making fun of when U2 tried to add their album on iTunes to every new phone or iPod that was purchased. Because I think it's just so funny. And the idea of having music coming out of your dishwasher or your fridge is just so funny. And then Maya Rudolph, you gotta give a shout out to Maya Rudolph.
Shout out to Maya, because she is hilarious in this. I also gotta give a shout out. I watched this like maybe 3 months ago. Have you ever seen what's it called? Idiocracy. It's a fire movie. I just had to segue to that. But anyways, so when I first watched this, I was younger and I wasn't very smart, so I didn't exactly know that Maya Rudolph was like black, because I wasn't there yet. So when she said it hard R, I was
so caught off guard.
It was so uncomfortable.
I just want to give a shout out to the line, Deborah. Because you're like, thanks, dude. Deborah. And she's like, it's Deborah.
It's Deborah. What's the origin of that?
From? Yeah, and she's like,
Deborah?
And then just when she says the hard R, it's one of the funniest deliveries of any line I've ever heard. Because she says it like such a white person.
Yeah,
like, she says it like she's so white. And she just says it like a mom, like how like a mom looks at a tourist. Like, you know, like how a mom looks at like a foreign person, but like they don't understand each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so funny. And I want to also give a shout out to like when she's just so overly mean to Yorm. And then Yorm, he looks at the camera and he's like, because she's like, yes, nerd. And then he's like, yeah. And I just like to give a shout out to Yorm because he just cooks in this movie.
All of them cook in this movie, honestly. Like I didn't see one bad performance.
Yeah, and all right. So now after Aquaspin, there was the album Party. Whenever Conquest finally dropped for the first time, and the moment they started playing the album, Power Around the World goes off. Like it all goes off. Like it's it's actually a problem.
And then
government systems are down, everything's down.
Around the entire world. And then I'm pretty sure that's when CMZ comes in.
CMZ, all right.
Bro, okay, I gotta
shout out to CMZ. Will Arnett, Chelsea Peretti,
Eric Andre,
Mike Birbiglia, and they're all addicted to Stanley Cups.
Exactly.
And they're like they're playing it out so much. They're like, maybe Connor should just kill himself.
Yeah.
And they're all like so evil for no reason.
This is just so I love Eric Andre. Shout out to Eric Andre. Love Will Arnett. Love Mike
Everyone
Birbiglia.
in there is amazing.
So Chelsea Peretti. So she played Gina in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Jake and Gina grew up together, right? Fun fact, they actually grew up together in real life. Yeah, so if y'all didn't know that, they did, and I love that.
Picture right now.
Yeah,
they were actually best friends when they were kids, which like that is just so funny to me.
Yeah, I love how they did that in that show, and I love how she's making fun of her childhood best friend in a movie, and it's like it's so like.
And you can tell they're such genuinely friends. And I love how Mike Birbiglia, he's just such a random person to me in this movie. And Will Arnett.
The wigs.
Yeah, the wigs are insane. All right, so this is them, like, super young.
Yeah.
I'm just going to open this up. But this is them super young. And then this is their yearbook picture. Which, look how cute Andy looks.
I mean, he wasn't looking at the camera.
Yeah, he wasn't at all. But
so,
just the wigs in CMZ is just so funny.
Because
Birbiglia has just hair going down to here.
And it's blonde.
And it's like and their laughs are all so exaggerated. Their laughs, instead of being like... It's like, that's what their laughs are like.
Especially Eric Andre. Eric Andre was the perfect person to choose for that role.
Yeah. And I think all of them are just so perfectly cast.
So then they go after... So next, there's the pool scene. Wherever... Tim Meadows.
No, next the album drops.
Well, then the power went out. and then there was. Oh, then he
Yeah,
checks
and
the
then-
reviews. Then he checks the reviews.
Yeah, okay.
So-
And this is my favorite joke in the entire movie. I just want to say this right here. This is
The
my favorite
crap-
joke in the entire movie. And it's just so funny to me because he's checking reviews for his album, which is a flop. And Pitchfork gave it a -5.
A negative.
And-
He was like, "It's a negative review." No, they gave it a bad review. No, it's a -4 out of 10. I assume positive 10.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, Pitchfork is kind of pretentious. And so he checks Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone gave him the poop emoji out of 5. Okay, and then this is my favorite joke in the entire movie. He's like, conquest, a triumph. And he looks so happy. And then he looks at the camera, and the camera's like, what publication is it? And he's like, oh, it's The Onion. And he says it so seriously, not knowing that The Onion is a humorous news
Yeah.
area.
And
It's just like so funny to me.
I
'Cause I bet you that joke flew over a lot of people's heads who don't know what The Onion is.
Yeah, and like I really, hold on, let me see where it is. I don't. Oh yeah, did they do collabs with Pitchfork and the Rolling Stone? Because they have like copyrighted names, right? Trademarks and stuff. So
Yeah.
I really wonder about that.
Yeah, I think they might have. But
They might-
It's just like the best joke in this movie. The Onion joke is just the best joke I've ever seen in any movie, I think.
I think I can beat you in this movie with that. I think I can beat you.
What do you mean beat me?
I think there's some funnier jokes.
Okay, no there isn't, so stop.
Yes, there are.
There's not a funnier joke in this movie. And I'm
The
telling you
Elton
that
John joke. The Elton John joke.
objectively.
The
Oh, we'll get there.
Elton John
We'll
joke.
get there.
The
We'll get
Elton
there.
John joke is funnier than that.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I
It
don't know
is.
about that.
It's so real.
I don't
All right.
know.
We're
I don't know.
gonna get back into the pod.
All right, so his tour kicks off, and
Uh,
he's doing a song, and then he's like, "Everybody in the front say woo!" And then everyone goes woo, and it's like everybody in the back say woo,
Woo!
everybody in the upper layer, and it's just one guy, and he's like yeah, and then he's talking to Tim Meadows after the show, and he's like, well, Tim is like, it's a 90,000 seat arena, nobody sells them out, or something like that. And then Connor's like, Hammerleg did last week. And then he's like, no. And then they're having the same conversation. And then Connor's like, just like you said, nobody sells it out. And then Tim is like, yeah, well, Hammerleg did last week. And I'm like, what is happening?
And I think it's funny that Hammerleg makes an appearance at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
but,
it's all like tied up.
Bill Hader's appearance is hilarious.
Yeah.
So
As the F line.
yeah. So he says this slang. He basically he's the guitar tech, and by the way, he's a really bad guitar tech. Like he says he handles all the instruments, and I would love to see how he does that because he's a horrible guitar tech. But basically, he talks about himself for like a 1 minute segment of the movie, and he says like, yeah, one of my favorite hobbies, but I love touring, but one of my favorite hobbies outside of it is probably flatlining. So basically, you go on the table and you die, and you get to see a glimpse of the afterlife. So, and this time I didn't poop my pants. So I try and get an F-line session about once a week maybe. And I love his delivery. I love the delivery in this movie in general.
And it's based off of such an obscure movie. Like Flatliners is such an obscure movie. I'd never heard of it until I heard about it in the movie.
Neither.
But it's such an obscure movie.
Like I genuinely thought it was like a joke. Like a fake movie.
I thought it was a fake movie, and then I looked it up and it was real, and I was like, bro. And then one thing I would like to say is I love Tim Meadows' delivery wherever he's like, all right, we're going to have to get an opener. And y'all aren't going to like it. And he's like, did you say are or aren't? He's like,
You are. And then he didn't really like
so
it.
funny to me.
And then at the
then
start,
he didn't like it.
exactly. So they get the opener, Hunter the Hungry, which is
Who was
played by Chris Red.
from
Yeah, Chris
SNL.
Red.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was hilarious in that movie. I'm gonna just be real.
His delivery, he's such like a crazy guy. Like you think he's on drugs all the time. He's like, "Oh, dude, that was crazy, dog."
And he's like
And,
and he's actually a good rapper though. Like he's actually talented.
I don't know.
it
About that.
was like a
like you see
Tyrannosaurus.
They go to a show and he's talking about how he commits intercourse with a special needs T-Rex. And that's what the entire song is about. And then he meets Connor after the show. And then Connor's like, will you be my opener? And he's like, dude, it's so crazy though, because I love you, man.
And then he goes
up there with Jesus.
And then he goes back on
Morgan
stage.
Freeman.
And then he goes back on
He
stage.
goes back on stage.
And Morgan Freeman. And it's just like
Yeah, he's so funny. And just the random Morgan Freeman.
So they go on tour.
It's crazy.
So they go on like a Europe tour, right? And they're pulling pranks like him and Hunter, and like Yorm's character is kind of gets like, you know, a bit jealous, but
he just gets blindsided. No, I feel bad for Yorm.
Yeah, definitely.
His character, it's one of his best friends who doesn't appreciate him
Owen.
already, and now that he has an opener who
It's
matches
just
his
sad.
energy, even though it's horrible, he just gets fully like blown under the radar, and then they make him wear this mask. And
With
then,
the beacon. Hold up, I have to say one thing first. When he took a crap in the Anne Frank house.
oh yes, okay. So his PR calls him Sarah Silverman, and she's like, "Did you take a shit in the Anne Frank house?" And then he's like, "Yeah." And then it shows a video, and he poops, and he's like, "Do not go in there, Ace Ventura." And I'm like, he could make that joke because he's Jewish, but it's also like Anne Frank.
Yeah.
That's also one of the funniest
Wait,
jokes in the movie.
Andy's Jewish? I thought he was like half Jewish, half something else.
Andy is full Jewish.
Full Jewish? Dang. Well, that's pretty cool. Anyways.
Yeah, and so they make Yorm wear this mask, and it has this like beam of light that goes, and it shows there's a shot where it's like from a plane, and the plane sees the beam of light and starts going towards it. That is definitely illegal. There's no way in real life if that were to happen, they would get arrested for life. Because at night, a plane, that is a crazy hazard. And then it makes a noise. And the noise is like, Duh! It's like, the noise is crazy. Like, I'm trying to think of an analogy for it.
It's like a steamboat horn.
Yeah, it's like a steamboat, like, farted.
Like and like the funny part of it is like, so why would I need this during the show? And then Connor's like,
"'Cause we ran the numbers.
He's like,
EDM is hot.
EDM
and
is
then
hot.
He starts talking and he starts labeling these actual like EDM DJs.
Oh my God, I
actual
love this
EDM
part.
artists.
This is the best.
And then
This is the best joke.
He's like,
Daft Punk.
Dead
Mouse.
And then he starts going like fake
These
ones,
like bread.
Oprah Spin Free.
Yeah, that one's
Ecstasy
fire.
3PO.
And then he says
LSD 3PO.
And then he says Elton John. Which is real, because he keeps remixing his old songs, but he's doing it in an EDM version with like Dua Lipa and like Jack Harlow or
Cold
something.
Heart and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this movie came out before all that, so if you think about it,
It's
predicted the
yeah.
Elton John remix era.
I'm very proud of that writing, because
That's so funny, and
it's like The
that's just
Simpsons,
hilarious.
predicting the future.
And one thing I want to say, we didn't touch on it when we went to the Aquaspin thing, was how Obama calls him a dumb F word, like on television after the Aquaspin outage, and that's just like coming from Obama. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
I could see any other president, just not Obama.
He didn't say it though, is the thing. Like, I really love how they like made it so that it was muted and it just had the title on it, you know, like Obama calls Connor, you know. So let's keep going through.
I love how Connor's like, okay, and we didn't touch on this whenever it started, but Connor hires like 20 people, and everybody he hires is just so funny.
How's
there's
a weed holder? He hires
a weed roller,
an umbrella specialist,
a pet sitter for Maximus, who's his best friend.
Yeah.
He's a turtle. And then my favorite
the umbrella.
is the guy who reminds him of where he came from.
Yeah.
And he punches him in the balls. And it's like you see him getting punched in the balls, and you see him like, what? And then you see him like come into the realization. He's like, oh. And then he daps him up. And then the best is the perspective manipulator.
The perspective manipulator.
And
Yes,
he's
I put
supposed
that.
to be a guy who's just slightly shorter than Connor, but he's like, you can see like there's a massive height difference.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny to me.
And I also love I love the umbrella specialist for when it's rainy and when it's too sunny. Like, that's just crazy. So let's keep going through
And
it.
I love
My bad.
I want to say Sarah Silverman, she's like, I wouldn't say they're yes men, and it shows Connor shooting, like while he's playing basketball, and he turns around, and it doesn't even go close, and everyone's like, yeah,
Go,
you made it.
let's
He's
go.
like, go. And so I touched on that because two of those people who he hired are talking to they're talking to the camera and they're like, while Hunter and Connor are pulling pranks, and they're like, I love how Connor has a sense of humor where it's like, please stop right now.
Stop.
But he never stops.
Exactly.
And so that's just so funny to me.
Yeah. So now we're at the. What are we at? We passed where the Hunter and Connor are doing songs together. Oh, now it's the Parent Trap time. No, wait, Ashley.
No, so I want to just say, I love how the girl who plays Ashley is named Imogen Poots. That's just so funny to me, having the last name Poots. And I'm sorry.
Don't be mean. Don't be mean.
No, I don't want to be mean, but Poots is a crazy last name. Like, there's this guy on the internet named Jimmy Glasscock, and that's also a crazy last name.
Okay. We're gonna chill. We're gonna chill. We're gonna chill.
We're gonna chill.
Thank you, Imogen Poots. Thank you for your performance.
Thank you, Imogen Poots.
Drew very much likes it. He's just hating right now. So just want you to know that.
But one thing that happens is they're on stage, and Connor's telling his fans that, all right, we're gonna do something, and it's gonna be a new wardrobe change that we've never done before. And so he keeps doing it, and then he realizes he has to tuck his wiener back. And this is when it all goes downhill. He's on stage, and he's doing his wardrobe change. He goes once, the thing comes up, thing comes down. He's changed. He's now wearing a suit and some fuzzy pants. Starts shaking his butt to the crowd. Everyone's loving it. And then this. He says, all right, we're taking it downtown tonight. Birthday suit time. And then he comes down. He is fully naked in front of the entire arena.
Does he actually say birthday suit time?
Yeah, he says.
Okay, I didn't.
I'm gonna go to my birthday suit, and
I didn't hear him say that
because he actually ends up becoming naked.
Yeah, I didn't hear him say that because I mentioned that.
And everyone's looking at him, and since his wiener and all that junk is tucked back,
he literally looks like this.
He's just standing there looking like he doesn't have a dong.
He looking like.
Yeah, and he's like, I wish I could show you guys. It's tough. And then they go backstage after the show. And actually, no. This is when everything starts to unravel. Whenever this happens, Owen, Yorm, being such a good friend, he's like, Connor, I'll save you. But he's wearing this mask. So he can't see. He ends up falling down the stairs. And then what starts playing on his iPod? None other than Harry P. Harry Potter's playing. Connor's naked. Owen's falling down. Everything's a wreck.
The beam goes out of his head.
The beam goes out on his head too.
And then it goes like, duh.
So everything's a wreck. And so they're backstage. And then Connor's talking to Tim Meadows. And like, what is happening? And then Hunter the Hungry, he's like, dude, it would take a crazy prankster to do this. And then Connor's like, was it you, Hunter?
Nah.
He's like, it wasn't me. It could be me though. It could be me though.
But it wasn't. Or was it? Or was it?
It could be me though. It could be me. And that entire exchange is just so funny to me. And like, it's just insane how all of that unravels. And then Connor is like, and then Tim was like, actually, it's okay. It's a 24-hour news cycle. I'm betting you nobody is even caught wind. And then the TV behind Connor starts showing up, and it's like, Connor for real has no penis? And then Hunter is like, that is crazy timing, dog. Crazy timing.
So then it goes to the Parent Trap, I believe. So basically, wait, does it go to the Parent Trap first, or does it go to the poop?
No.
The poop waffles.
No. So in exchange, in preparation to try to like take this out of the news cycle, Connor decides to propose to Ashley Wednesday.
Ashley Wednesday is the Ashley Wednesday.
Poops.
Bro, the Ashley Wednesday part is hilarious because whenever she goes like, whenever I saw these couples in the news whenever I saw these couples in the news and they felt they were like, I don't know if she said like disingenuous or something, but
no, she's like, I was wondering if they were dating for publicity or not.
No,
and then she never clarifies, and she's like, I've
I
always
wanted to
that.
have that. I always
And
wanted
I'm
to
like,
have that.
that's just so funny to me because she's always wanted to be a publicity couple, and that's just like hilarious.
So then Connor decides to propose on public television, and so
TMZ is there. Or
CMZ,
is
excuse
there.
me. So they drive in a limo, and Ashley's blindfolded, and they're in like this field area. They walk out, and there's a stage, and there's Seal and a bunch of wolves, and there's wolves
Yep.
because Ashley in her past life, quote unquote, or whatever, she was a wolf. So it's a pretty fun fact, but she was a wolf, and so that Seal starts singing his song note. He starts singing beautiful notes, and then all hell breaks loose. So she's like he proposes, and then do they put the ring on the finger?
He does.
He does.
And then Seal's music starts driving the wolves crazy, and
then,
it's so bad
dude,
the wolves are unleashed.
the wolf handler, he's so funny. He's nah, we can't. We can't let them go. But so then they break loose, and Ashley and Connor have to get in the car with Tim Meadows, with the manager, with Harry. And then they get into the limo, but Seal's getting mauled. But then he gets to the limo, and he has all scars on his face, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I got all these scars because I was attacked by wolves.
From wolves,
Yeah. And then he's about to get in the car, and then a wolf just comes and pow. So then
and just pounds him.
So then it's all over the news, right? Seal sues Connor, and then Ashley breaks up with him and
Poor
goes
Seal.
and goes to date. Holy voice crack! Goes to date Seal.
Yeah.
But now,
And that's just great.
So now is it the Parent Trap or the Waffles?
So this concert after that is the Parent Trap, I think. Yeah, this is the Parent Trap. And then basically Yorm is like, I saw this really underground old movie from the 80s called The Parent Trap. And then he's like, I invited Lawrence after the show because he's going to apologize to you. And he told Lawrence that Connor was going to apologize to him. So then Connor's like, are you parent trapping us? And he's like, what? No, what? And then they finally get to the car. Lawrence is in there looking like an Amish person. And then they're talking, and then Connor wasn't going to apologize. And so Lawrence tries to leave the car, but then all the fans come in, so they can't leave the car. They're on lockdown. And then Connor is just pointing back to his window. And he's like, see?
And these
are my fans. And this girl, like, presses her butt towards the window. And Connor's like, see? This is what you get when you're me.
And then someone puts their...
He's like, I'm gonna go sign
Wait, but then there's this part.
The breasts.
And then
the breasts.
This dude...
And then he's like, I'm gonna go sign these. And then
he rolls down the window. And
He rolls down the window. And someone's penis is sticking through the window. And he's like, I'm gonna go sign this.
He's like, these are my fans. This is what I do this for.
Around, and then he sees it. And he's like, ah! And then he doesn't know what to do. And so then they're just lost.
And then he actually signs it. And then the girl that showed the breast was like, this is my boyfriend.
Yeah, she's like, this is my fiance.
This is my fiance. So that happens. And then the Parent Trap does not go well at all. And they're still on bad terms, Lawrence and Connor. So they what happens next is they part ways
for now.
And then Yorma,
my favorite scene in the movie happens,
which
is
ball.
No, it's Jimmy
really?
Fallon.
Shoot, yeah, Jimmy Fallon. Man,
it's Jimmy Fallon. And so they go to Jimmy Fallon. This is my favorite scene in the movie.
The donkey roll.
Andy's like, don't do that, Jimmy Fallon. And you see Higgins, the producer of SNL and the announcer for Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. And he's like, oh my God. Some people said I had a mean donkey roll. And then he's like, how about we do the donkey roll right now?
We got kid contact. We got kid contact.
I don't know if we'll do any of that. I don't know if I don't even know if Owen will be into that. And then Owen comes out in the full drip. And this is also a callback because Owen kept pressing, like, he's like, yo, how about we have the opener be, whatever the Style Boys, which was their group from before. And then he's like, all my followers keep asking. And then Connor's like, yeah, how many followers do you have? He's like, 30,000.
No, he
He's
said
like, yeah,
500. He said
Oh, yeah,
500K.
it's like 500 grand.
500K.
And then 500K. And then Connor's like, well,
20 million.
I have 20 million. And then Owen just looks at the camera and he's like, he's so realistic. He's like, most of those are probably bots. And so he keeps wanting the Style Boys to get together. So he's doing the donkey roll. All of them are doing the donkey roll. Everyone's getting into it. And it shows the music video. And I love that music video. It's very like Beastie Boys 90s rap.
Oh my God, yes.
And then Usher is like, the donkey roll, man? That's why I dance. And then it just shows everyone doing the donkey roll. And it's just so funny. And the Roots are there. And then Higgins starts doing it. And Higgins, he's just like himself. Like, he's just like himself. And then, alright. And so the next part that happens is...
Is this the Poop Waffles?
This is the Poop Waffles. They leave, and then he's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that, Owen? Why would you do that? And Owen is just like a child. He wants his divorced parents to get back together. That's exactly what it's like. He's like, Owen, it was like Connor and Lawrence were his parents, and he just loves them so much. And Owen is just there, getting blindsided, which is rough.
Yeah. So now
But
it's
basically Connor is on a quest to make sure his
that
yes men aren't his yes
his
men.
team are. So can I do this one?
You got this.
So he's checking if his team is like him. So basically, I can't, man. So he's making pancakes, right, for his I keep calling them waffles, pancakes for his crew, right? 3 people, Owen, and then these 2 other guys, his party specialist, and I don't know what the other dude does, but basically he makes pancakes, but he puts dog crap in them, and then he feeds it to them. And like the 2 other dudes, right? They're like that aren't Yorma. They're like, this is really good, Connor. And then Yorma's like, this is booty. And then they're like, he. And then Connor's like, he. Owen, he's the only one that he passed. And then Yorma's like, why would you do this? Why?
Why would you put dog crap?
Why
in
would
my
you put
pancakes?
dog crap in my food? And then they have an argument, and he leaves, and that happens.
And the camera just pans to some girl. And
Oh,
she's
yeah,
on her
that's the
phone,
assistant.
just
That's the
eating
assistant.
The pancakes, not even caring. She's still eating the pancakes, and she's just chilling. She's like, yup. And while she's eating them, and then I want to talk about one of my favorite lines in the movie that happens before the pancakes, and it's Owen talking to Lawrence on the phone, and he's like, Lawrence, you gotta come. Connor's gonna apologize. It was before the Parent Trap, but it was shown after.
Oh, the girl.
And then there was Lawrence was holding a lamb, it was a lamb.
Yeah. It was a baby lamb.
It was a baby. Well, lambs are baby sheep, so he was just holding a lamb, and then the lamb's like, bah! And then Owen is like, what is that? And then Lawrence is like, it's my girlfriend. I'm having sex with her. Like that's what the entire exchange is like. And then Owen's like, all right, man.
All right. So
And so the next day.
Now, Maximus.
Now Owen's packing up to leave. Yeah.
Owen's
So
packing
now Maximus is like
Maximus is the
passed
turtle.
out. Yeah, with his squishy bone syndrome. So Connor keeps trying to like leave the house, but there's paparazzi everywhere. So he's like, my turtle's gonna die.
And then he throws up on him.
Yeah, and then he throws up on him, and then this is another one. Like, this is an amazing scene, but it's Maximus's funeral, and he's at the pool, and Connor just starts singing "Gangster's Paradise." He's like, "As I walk through
The valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my
and then he
life.
does like what they do in Chinese funerals, like stereotypically, where he puts the body to water.
And then he
he
shoots
lights it on fire.
Yeah.
Like he shoots it with
With
like
an
a
arrow.
flaming arrow. And then whenever everyone sees that, whoever's next to him, they weren't actually here for Maximus's funeral. They all think it's a pool party, so they're like, woo! And they all jump in while Connor's just there crying.
He's like on his knees and he's just like bawling.
He's bawling.
So that happens, and then he hits rock bottom, dude. Like really.
He is rock bottom. He goes back to his childhood home.
Yeah, his mom is going on tour.
Yeah, his mom is going on tour.
I'm pretty. Is it with what's it called? Hammer.
It's Hunter, I think.
It's Hunter.
Hammerleg. I don't know.
But yeah, so he
at his house.
And then Sarah Silverman, the PR,
yeah.
She gets him out of his hole. He's like drinking a lot and brings him to
it turns
bar.
out he was just the reason he decided to come. Well, he also in his free time while he hit rock bottom, he was posting badly drawn pictures of horses. And selling them
it's
on
amazing
eBay.
art. That is art right there. That is art.
I don't know about that. And then he's watching old home movies, and then he sees one, and it's the day he thinks his mom got Maximus. And so it's at his birthday party, and then he sees something, and his mom is like, "This is from your best friends, Owen and Lawrence." And it was Maximus. So Owen and Lawrence were the ones who actually gave him Maximus. So then he gets out to the club.
Yeah.
And Sarah Silverman has this great line, because he's wearing prosthetics, because he thinks people are going to recognize him because he's so full of himself. And then Sarah Silverman is like, "You look like Nazi propaganda." And if you look at old Nazi propaganda and you look like what Connor looked like, it's the exact same. And he looks like Jason Segel also.
So and then Yorma is performing at the at the club, and then Connor goes up to him and he's like, "Hey, great show, man!" In like the costume, and then Owen's like, "Connor?" And then it's like, "Oh man, dude, I thought you wouldn't recognize me," which is the most Andy delivery ever.
Yeah.
That's just so Andy. But they see each other and then they reconcile kind of. And then Owen says like, "Man, my set could have used some better singing, dude." And then they go and then they're like, they should talk to Lawrence. So I believe.
Yeah, so they go to Lawrence's house, and then Connor finally becomes a man and says, "Lawrence, you wrote the entire
This
catchphrase
is so
verse."
funny. This is
I'm
you helped with the catchphrase verse. I'm sorry. And then Lawrence usually like, and then he's like, okay, you helped me with a good amount of the catchphrase verse.
Yeah.
Okay, you wrote all of the catchphrase verse, but I was still in the studio. Okay, I was a bit late that day, and then it kept going on, and then it kept going on, and then it was like, okay, I didn't help you write it. I didn't even come that day, but I'm sorry. And then they hug it out, and they start working on some old crap they were vibing to.
Before that, this is one of the big reveals of Lawrence, where Lawrence is like, "Y'all still smoke?" And it turns out he was a weed farmer the entire time, and he's hella loaded. He's pretty rich. And they're finally recording together, recording old stuff in this sick studio. And then Lawrence is looking at the camera and he's like, "Seeing this, it makes me realize I kind of freaking hate farming." And then and then Connor gets a call from Sarah Silverman. Yeah, saying he actually got into the Poppies so he can sing.
That's the thing, that he got rejected from the Poppies, but Taylor Swift got charged with murder. I believe
Taylor Swift got charged with murder.
I believe in the first degree.
Yeah, and I would love to say Andy Samberg and Taylor Swift, they have a crazy history.
They do?
In Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jake got a restraining order from Taylor Swift's group, and
yeah, oh yeah.
And he has an obsession with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And then they've done commercials together, and it's just crazy seeing how Taylor Swift is in every project.
I forgot about the Brooklyn Nine-Nine stuff. Jake has a lot of restraining orders with the Chris,
Jake
is crazy.
The
Magic
Jake
Show.
Is crazy. Yeah.
The Chris Angel.
Yeah, Chris Angel.
Yeah,
and
but
so they finally go to the Poppies.
No, wait, you forgot. He declines.
Oh yeah, he does. Decline.
And then he keeps vibing out, but then he actually gets to have a set by himself and with the Style Boys. So they go to the Poppies, right? They go to the Poppies, and they see Hunter with Harry, and they have an argument, and Harry quits as a manager. But then he walks over to...
No, this is before that. They go to the Poppies, and this is one of my favorite scenes. And they have a 3-way documentary. He runs into Hunter.
No,
documentary.
duh!
And so they were looking at the camera, and then Hunter's like, "Yo, what's up, Hunter gang?" And then they're like, "Sorry, we're with Connor." And then he looks at the other camera, and he's like, "Yo, what's up, Hunter gang?" And then he's like, no, we're with Snoop. And the Snoop Dogg, he's like, surprise. And it's just so funny. And then they tell Connor that he can't do his set. Like, well, they have to cut it down because someone else like was running over.
Yeah.
And then he just like, and then we don't know what he decides. And then you see his manager getting fired. Like saying he's dropping Hunter because Hunter's a little brat.
So Harry Tim Meadows.
And his delivery is so fun. He's like, "Child, you must be out of your mind." And he's just like the best Tim Meadows, just in his element. Yeah, it's great. And then
he slaps Hunter.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so this is the big finale. And then this is like everything that's happened in the movie being built up. Turns out Connor chose to do a Style Boys thing.
Hold on, can I do it? Can I do it real quick?
Yeah.
So they do Bin Laden, right? So, the finest girl I ever met in my whole life. Wanna take her home, make her my wife. Da-da-da-da-da. I said, I'm a style boy for life.
And then everyone else, like everything pays off. The Style Boys get to do a set with the song they wrote on Lawrence's farm. Usher gets to come out and do the donkey roll, which he said that's why he danced. And then Harry, his manager, gets to play saxophone because Tony.
No,
and then,
my bad. I thought you didn't do the question.
Tony? And then there's someone in a fish. Oh, Michael Bolton.
Yeah,
and
Michael
if you
Bolton.
didn't know, The Lonely Island also produced Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day special.
And they also did
which
the
is on
original.
Netflix.
They also did the original Captain Jack Sparrow song, which is such a goofy song, dude.
Yeah, and it's just Michael Bolton loving Jack Sparrow and Pirates of the Caribbean.
And then the Lonely Island doesn't make sense of it at all. But yeah.
Yeah, they're like, what?
And then
but they're on stage and everybody is there, and everything's finally paying off. And then there's a fish that comes out, and the fish starts
tight. It's tight. Honest.
We can't spoil it. He just starts crushing, and then
we've spoiled this whole movie. We've spoiled this whole entire movie.
One celebrity, and was like, "I would kill to know who was under that fish mask," and it was Justin Timberlake.
It was
Tyrus
me
as the chef, and he's like, "It was me."
It was me,
just so
Tyrus.
funny in this movie. Yeah, and everything pays off, and it's such an amazing conclusion to one of my favorite movies.
I really love when Keeve goes and kisses the girl that he's never met for like so
at
long.
The end,
Maximus 2.
They're walking down the stage at the end of the movie, and everyone's like, "Oh, it went great," because that was finally just Connor's redemption in the public eye, with his friends, with everything. And then they're walking out, and then Lawrence starts making out with this one woman who he's never even met.
Stage
and
manager.
He starts hanging out with her for like a good solid 5 minutes. And then Andy's on the phone. He's like, "Yo, Keith's making out with this girl. I think he's going to take her home." And it's just a great sequence. And then they finally go home. Everyone's reconciled. They're all friends. The movie's closed in such a satisfying way. And he gets Maximus too.
And then there's also an end credit. It's pretty fire. It's CMZ again. And they're like, don't they like glaze Connor for real or something? I might be getting this confused. Yeah.
I think so.
All right. But yeah, so that's Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Never stop, never stopping.
That's what I said.
I know, I just want to clarify.
My bad.
And now this is a new segment we're calling.
A new segment. This is the first episode. Yeah, so opening the gate.
Yeah, but it's a new segment.
Fair enough. So opening the gates.
Opening the gate. It's where we'll open the gate to you on music or TV show or a movie.
We stop gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not going to gatekeep anymore.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I was gonna pull this guy up, but we don't want to get copyrighted. So let me check. Let me find where I put this. So the dude's name is Vinyl, Vinal. It's on all stream platforms, and the song is called, I believe, Sickness Part 1. It'll be linked in the description. That song is so fire. Like, it's kind of like R&B-ish trap type of stuff. It's gas. So listen to that. Linked in the description.
Yeah, and then I have a rec for you guys. It's a really niche indie artist. They're called the Growlers, and they broke up a little bit ago. And this is an album called City Club. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's super underrated. So if you like that indie, underground, like niche type stuff, then you would love that album. And we will also be linking that in the description.
Yeah, we're gonna be linking a lot of the resources in the description.
Yeah.
That it?
That's it.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for watching in order of appearance, and we'll see y'all on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.